Bruce's Big Call Universe. Disclaimer. Bruce's Big Call contains opinions and information provided by Bruce. These opinions are not vetted, nor are they shared by the owner of the Digital Soldier Press Channel. As with all RV and NESARA-related news, from any source other than the most reliable source for news and information regarding the RV and NESARA, which is Mark Z and Mr. Cottrell, take said information and put it on a shelf. Manage your expectations accordingly. Note that NO money will flow or redemptions or exchanges will occur until Mr. Cottrell enters the codes to unlock the abundance of gold assets held by the U.S. Treasury, regardless of what anyone else might say on any other platform or channel. We strictly follow the information provided by Mr. Cottrell as the only valid source of information on the RV and NESARA start. And now, Bruce's Big Call Universe.
Welcome, everybody, to the Big Call tonight. It is Thursday, July 30th, and you're listening to the Big Call. Thank that it's so hidden that it hasn't been able to be used for children with cancer or people on hospice or whatever. I mean, don't get me started. I just feel like, well, you don't want to know what I think. All I can tell you is the med beds are real. They're there. They're ready. We know about them. I could write a book on them. And, I could. And they're there. They're ready. But we got to get in the redemption center first. It's bass-backwards, but that's what it is. That's how it's set up. And they're doing the military. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, these guys that are missing hands and feet and limbs, legs, whatever, missing all that stuff. And they're getting healed, no problem. Brand new ones. Put it together. Age reverse them. Yep. Age regress them. So I'm glad for that. But I am looking forward to us and everybody that needs to get into that med bed and get restored. All right. That's a little med bed commercial I wasn't going to do. It's a holographic medical bed is how it's termed. All right. So let's talk about where we are on the Intel segment right now. I was told yesterday that tonight would be my last call, my last big call, my last public big call. Have I heard that before? Yes. I've been told it maybe half a dozen times. This will be your last call, Bruce. This is your last big call. And look, I want it to be, other than the fact that we don't have numbers yet, and other than the fact that we don't have a celebration call yet, which I'd like to do, even if it's only recorded and we have it as a recorded link for you. I'd like to do that. If we had had numbers today, I would have been able to put them out on tonight's call, which would have been great for everybody. Say, well, here's the number. Okay, Bruce said it on the call. He's got it on the website. It's on bigcalluniverse.com. Whatever, right? It's in the email that Big Call Universe is sending out. I'm looking forward to that. So I'm hoping that this is the last public big call. I can't say that it is, but I can tell you where they say we are in terms of this timing. I told you guys I get real antsy when we get toward the end of the month, thinking, well, you know what, they might just start it August 1st. And what I'm hearing tonight is that we could have been notified today or tomorrow and started exchanges Friday or Saturday. Now we've got to take the today out. Thursday's gone. And we have to look at Friday. Is Friday in play? Yes. Is Friday in play for notifications with exchanges to start Saturday? Yes. The weekend is definitely in play. The weekend, we're hearing from several sources, is going to be the kickoff, the beginning. And I believe they're thinking in terms of Saturday. Now, if we do start Saturday, they'll stay open Sunday. Redemption centers will be open. If we start Saturday, we'll go right through Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And my latest information is it will go for 21 days or 3 weeks when we start. So let's say we start on August 1st, which is Saturday. If that was the day of our start, we could go 3 months, all the way to August 20th or 21st. And my theory that came to us, I guess it was Tuesday, was that the banks would start somewhere in the vicinity of August 20th or 21st. I can't confirm that that's the case. Can't confirm it for tonight's call. It may be or it may not be. But I can tell you it makes if anything in this whole thing makes some sense, what makes sense is that the redemption centers would go first. Number one, the only way to redeem your ZIM is through redemption centers. Number two, it's the highest available rates. I mean, especially on the dinar. As you guys know, there's no contract rate on the dinar except at the redemption center. And, you'd be foolish not to call an 800 number to set an appointment to do it. Now, certain people have pushed banks. They've pushed it. Banks, only banks. Forget that. And I know I've talked about redemption centers because that's what we're being told by Wells Fargo and some of the other major banks. And Wells Fargo is in charge of the redemption centers in the United States. HSBC and RBC, which is Scotiabank that owns RBC Bank, are the main banks in Canada. But they do have redemption centers in Canada. They do. They don't have anywhere near as many as we do, but they don't have as many people as we do either. The population of Canada, most of the population is within 100 miles of our northern border with Canada. Most of it. And it's approximately equal to the population of California. So, Canada's cool. They just need to kind of get their act together. They've done some things that are a little bit nutsy right now. Hopefully those wildfires up there are being handled and are going out. Hopefully it's got rain, put all those wildfires out. So, let's see what else. So that puts us in play for the weekend. And we'll define that as numbers possibly Friday, if not Saturday, and exchanges starting most likely, if it's Friday, we'd start on the 1st, which is Saturday, 1st of August. And then we go right through that. Now, today, from what we've heard, redemption centers, there were only 3 currencies on the screens. That's of 51 currencies that will be on the redemption center screens. 51. Today, 3 of those currencies were up with solid rates. Iraqi dinar, Vietnamese dong, and Indonesian rupiah. Those were the 3. Cool. I don't have the rates. I don't need no stinking rates. You know why? Because we know the dinar, for us that go to the redemption centers, will be offered as a contract rate, which is very high, very high. The ZIM, which is being redeemed like a bearer bond, is 1-to-1 to the U.S. dollar. And our USN dollar, our new dollar, USN. Think of USN as new dollar. Our new USN will be available for us when we go in on day one for our exchanges and redemption of ZIM. So we should have that. It should be out. It's in the banks already. It's just not in the teller drawers. That's an easy switch. That's an easy fix. We're hearing that our current fiat dollar, backed by only the full faith and credit of the United States, that fiat dollar that we have now will be available to use in the United States until about November 15th, plus or minus, about November 15th. But the new dollar, our USN, will be introduced from the banks and at the redemption centers for us. I told you it's already wrapped, probably in either $500 or $1,000 increments, and they want us to take no more than about $3,000, $3,500 in the new USTN, United States Treasury notes. Because remember, there's no more Federal Reserve note on the new money. Treasury, U.S. Treasury notes. So we'll have that as cash, which we can take or not take. Now, it's not free. It comes off your exchange total, but it's only going to be about $3,000 that they don't want us to take a ton of cash so that in case something happened and we could get jacked up, on the way home or something like that. So just a little bit. Or take none of it. I'm going to take a couple of grand, $2,000 or $3,000 probably. So there's that. I'm trying to think if there's anything. See, this is a real short intel segment because that's really what we want to get out there. I think that we will get numbers and call and set appointments for like the next day. And it makes sense that they want everybody to use the 800 number and call and set appointments because they want to see who we are when we show up. Are we on the good side or are we on the bad side? Let's see. They want to make sure that we're doing the right thing, that we're doing good things with the money, that all of that. One other thing, NDAs. Here's the latest I've got on NDAs at the Redemption Center. If you have 10 or more notes, let's say you've got a 25,000 dinar note, and you have 10 of those. That would be what, 250,000 dinar at whatever rate, okay, which I already know what the rate is. Or let's say you've got 5 25K notes and you've got 5 200,000 dong notes. Okay? So let's say you had 10 notes or more, and a lot of us have a lot more. 10 or more puts you into where you're signing an NDA. 10 or more notes. If you have ZIM, because of the amount of the denominations of ZIM, 50 billion, 10 trillion, 50 trillion, 100 trillion, whatever you've got in ZIM, that's a lot of Gitas right there. And that turns into an NDA automatically. Okay? But if you're a ZIM holder and you have dire need, you go to the head of the class for the med beds. You let them know that you have dire need and tell them what it is. They'll enter it in on their laptops. They'll get a few keystrokes, and you'll be able to get an appointment a little sooner than a lot of people. Because we are considered sovereigns, and they want us to be around a long time to see these projects through. 100, 200, 300 or more years. We could easily live that long. Easily. What was Methuselah, 972 years or something like that? I don't know that we want to live that long. Right, Sue? But, I don't know that we want to live that long or not, but it's out there. Noah lived 930 years. So, I just think we can live these new lives, and we can enjoy them and do the right thing with this money. All right, one other thing about money. A lot of people are thinking, well, when I get all this money, I'm going to invest in this and that and the other and buy gold mines and do this. Well, you know what? Okay, if that's what you want to do. I don't plan to do that. I know that the banks are going to offer us over 8% interest per year. Do you realize what 8% is on $10 billion? 800 million. Hello, $800 million a year. If you take it quarterly, that's $200 million a quarter. That's a pretty big nut to get rid of. 200 mil a quarter to sell, to invest into people's lives, to give to certain causes, to build out projects. I mean, I'm not saying that's, it's not chump change. That's only based on 10 billion with a B. What about trillion? What about quadrillion? Or even higher. And this is where you're going to move money from your quantum account into your primary bank account or secondary or tertiary banks. You can have like 3 banks connected to your quantum card. So far, that's what I've heard, 3 banks. And I'm going to start with one. Start with one and then see what happens after that. And even if it's over 8, like 8.25, 8.5, 8.75, 8.75%, I'm going to stick with 8%. If they offer me that, I'll go with 8. 8. 8 is good. 8 is good. 2% a quarter. Boom. On whatever money's in your primary and secondary bank accounts. And then that way you've got a goal. Basically, you have a goal to try to spend. I'm saying you should try to spend or invest it in people's lives, in projects. I'm looking forward to this. I'm really kind of jacked up about Rebuild America and sports venues and music venues, art and music, and how that's going to work and helping. Kids don't get art and music in school, right? They've dropped all that. They stopped all that sometime. They don't even get PE. They don't even get recess for PE anymore. No, we got to get people like Sue. We got to get them fit. We got to get them walking. We got to get them dancing. We got to get them enjoying music, live venues, live music, all of that. There's so much we're going to do. And we'll do it all throughout the U.S. and maybe in other parts of the world too. We'll see what happens. But I'm excited about that. I'm excited about using my creativity, your creativity, our creativity to create something new, something different, omnivorous. Yeah, man. That's it. That's what we're looking to do. And we'll make some definite improvements. We'll make some changes. I'm not saying it's going to be a perfect world, you guys. I don't believe that's going to happen. However, can we help people that have been less fortunate? Sure. That's why we're doing this call. That's why we got the Zim. That's why we're doing this to up-level the humanity, to up-level the playing field, level it out. And it's going to be terrific. And I'm looking forward to a new start. And I'm looking forward to playing Sue and beating her on the tennis court. She still wants
not going to happen.
Oh, listen to you. Or as they say, oh, listen at you. Oh, listen at you. Sue might be a real force. I know she can move pretty quickly, but I don't know if she's going to be able to beat the Brew Man. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. It'd be fun, Sue. It'd really be fun. Bob and I teeing it up, playing a little golf. I'll tell you what, you guys, I hope everybody's ready. If you're not ready, you need to get ready. And one way you get ready is to be serious about play. And Sue has an office. Tomorrow is questionable. Will we get notified tomorrow, or is the 1st of August already? August, Saturday. Both appear to be in play right now, as of now, from the people that we're talking to. But we'll see. Keep an eye out for your emails, and we'll send them out. We'll send our own email out from Big Call Universe. We'll send that out, and we'll have it on the website, bigcalluniverse.com, and we will be emailing you. But in the future, with Rebuild America and Rebuild International and Veterans Retreat Network and Pastoral Retreats, what we're doing with that, we'll let you know in an email to you, and probably with a podcast link in the email. Might have a little copy, maybe a little copy, then plus the link to click on. So you can hear my voice again, as if you're not tired of hearing it for 15 years. But, we're going to have a good time, you guys. I hope I can get 5,000 or more volunteers to help me with Rebuild America. Basically finding the areas that could use the help, that maybe had an industry that went out. Maybe they used to manufacture something and now it's dead. There's nothing in the town. Even the video store's closed. All they've got is a bank, maybe a drugstore, and maybe they've got a restaurant. We want to revitalize America too. We have to revitalize this country and give everybody a purpose wherever they live. So that's my segment for tonight.